Hello, and welcome. Tonight, you are going somewhere quiet. Somewhere safe. Somewhere far from the noise of the ordinary world. Tonight, you are the keeper of an old lighthouse, standing alone on a rocky coast, where the land ends and the sea stretches out forever. But before we go there, let yourself settle first. Feel your body resting against the bed beneath you. Feel the pillows soft and steady under your head. Feel the blanket lying gently over your chest and legs. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands fall open. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Another breath, easy and unhurried, and let it go. There is nothing you need to do right now. Nothing you need to fix or finish or figure out. Tonight, the lighthouse is waiting for you. The lamp is ready to be lit. The fire is ready to warm you. And the sea is ready to sing you to sleep. So close your eyes, and come with me now to the lighthouse by the sea. It is late afternoon on a quiet autumn day. You are walking along a narrow path that follows the edge of a coastal cliff. The sky above you is soft gray, layered with clouds that move slowly inland from the sea. The air is cool and damp and carries the salt smell of the ocean. To your left, the land slopes gently downward, covered in rough grass and patches of wild heather that have turned deep purple with the season. To your right, the cliff drops away, and far below you can hear the waves meeting the rocks with a steady, unhurried rhythm. It is not a violent sound. It is patient. It is constant. It has been here for thousands of years, and it will be here for thousands more. The path beneath your boots is made of packed earth and small stones, worn smooth by many feet over many seasons. Your steps are slow and easy. Ahead of you, the lighthouse comes into view. It stands on a rocky promontory at the end of the cliff path, rising above the sea like a tall white candle against a gray sky. It is built of thick stone, painted white many years ago, now slightly weathered by salt and wind and time. The walls are solid and round, narrowing as they rise toward the lantern room at the top, where the great glass windows catch the fading afternoon light. At the base of the lighthouse, there is a small stone cottage attached to the main tower. This is where you live during your weeks as keeper. The cottage has a dark wooden door, two small windows with green shutters, and a chimney made of rough gray stone. Even from a distance, it looks warm and inviting, like a place that has sheltered many quiet nights before this one. As you walk closer, you notice the details that make this place feel like home. A stack of firewood sits neatly beside the cottage door, split and dried and ready to burn. A pair of rubber boots rests on the stone step, left there from yesterday. A small iron lantern hangs beside the door frame, unlit for now but ready for the evening. The path widens as it reaches the lighthouse, and the rough grass gives way to flat stone. You can hear the sea more clearly here, a deep and steady breathing that rises from the rocks far below the cliff edge. The wind is light but constant, pressing against your jacket with a cool, salty hand. You reach the cottage door and pause for a moment, looking back along the path you have walked. The coastline curves away into the mist, green and gray and gentle. No one else is here. You are alone with the lighthouse and the sea. You take a slow breath of the salt air, then turn the brass handle of the cottage door and push it open. Inside, the air changes immediately. It is warmer here, sheltered from the wind, and it smells of old wood, dried herbs, and the faint sweetness of last night's fire. The cottage room is small but comfortable, a single large space that serves as kitchen, living room, and study all in one. The ceiling is low, with dark wooden beams running across it. The walls are thick white plaster, slightly uneven, the kind that hold warmth inside even when the weather outside is cold. The floor is made of wide stone slabs, smooth and cool, with a worn wool rug spread across the center in faded shades of red and brown. This room has been lived in by many keepers before you, and their quiet presence still fills the space. To your right, against the far wall, there is a fireplace built of gray stone, wide and deep, with a thick wooden mantel above it. The grate holds the remains of last night's fire, a bed of pale ash with a few dark coals still resting in the center. Above the mantel hangs a round clock with a brass rim, its pendulum swinging slowly, marking time with a soft, steady tick that you barely notice anymore. Beside the fireplace stands an old armchair, deep and comfortable, upholstered in dark green fabric that has faded unevenly with years of sitting by the fire. A folded wool blanket rests over one arm. This is your chair. This is where you will spend most of the evening, once the lamp is lit and the fire is burning and there is nothing left to do except rest. To your left is the kitchen area. It is simple and tidy. A wooden counter runs along the wall beneath a small window that looks out toward the sea. On the counter sits a heavy iron kettle, a ceramic teapot with a chipped lid, a wooden cutting board, and a bread knife resting beside a cloth-wrapped loaf. Above the counter, wooden shelves hold a row of mismatched cups and plates, a jar of honey, a tin of tea, a small pot of salt, and a bottle of olive oil. Everything here is practical. Everything has been chosen for comfort rather than appearance. Below the counter, a small cast iron stove sits ready, its surface dark and smooth. Beside it, a basket holds kindling and a box of long matches. The kitchen window lets in the gray afternoon light, soft and even, casting no sharp shadows anywhere in the room. Against the back wall of the cottage is a narrow wooden door that leads into the lighthouse tower itself. Beside it stands a writing desk, small and sturdy, made of dark oak. The surface is slightly worn where arms and hands have rested over the years. A green-shaded desk lamp sits on one corner, unlit. In the center of the desk lies a large leather-bound log book, its cover dark brown and softened with age. A fountain pen rests beside it in a shallow brass tray. This is where you record the weather, the tides, the passing ships, and the quiet observations of each night at the lighthouse. It is a simple ritual, but one that gives each evening its shape and meaning. On the wall above the desk hangs a barometer and a small framed chart of the coastline, marked with depths and currents in faded blue ink. You close the cottage door behind you and hear the wind disappear. The room holds you in its warmth. You remove your jacket slowly, feeling the cool weight of it leave your shoulders, and hang it on an iron hook beside the door. Your boots come off next, one then the other, and you set them on the stone floor near the threshold. Your feet find the worn wool rug, and the texture is soft and familiar. You stand for a moment in the quiet of the room, listening. The clock ticks. The wind presses gently against the window glass. Somewhere outside, a seabird calls once and then falls silent. The room waits patiently around you, asking nothing, offering everything it has. You breathe in the smell of old wood and dried lavender and the faint memory of smoke, and you feel your shoulders begin to drop and your body begin to ease. The first thing you want to do is start the fire. You kneel beside the fireplace and open the small iron door of the grate. The ashes from last night are still faintly warm. You use a small brass shovel to clear a space in the center, then lay a few pieces of crumpled newspaper on the grate, followed by a handful of dry kindling from the basket. You take a long match from the box, strike it against the stone edge of the hearth, and watch the flame appear, small and bright in the gray room. You hold it to the paper and watch the fire take. The paper catches first, curling and glowing orange. Then the kindling begins to crackle, thin snapping sounds that feel cheerful and alive. You add 2 small logs on top, positioning them carefully so the air can move between them, and close the grate door partway. The fire builds slowly. You sit back on the rug and watch the flames grow from tentative flickers into steady, confident tongues of orange and yellow. The wood pops softly as the heat reaches the sap inside. A thin stream of smoke rises and finds its way up the chimney, and soon the room begins to fill with warmth. It starts near the fireplace, a circle of heat that you can feel on your face and hands, and then it spreads outward, reaching the armchair, the rug, the stone walls, the low ceiling. The light from the fire adds a warm amber glow to the room that the gray afternoon could not provide. Shadows appear on the walls, soft and moving, dancing gently with the flames. You stay there for a while, kneeling on the rug, simply watching the fire do its quiet, ancient work. When the fire is burning steadily and the room has warmed enough to feel like shelter, you stand and move to the kitchen. You fill the heavy iron kettle from a tap that runs cold, clear water from the well behind the lighthouse. The kettle is familiar in your hands, solid and reassuring. You set it on the small stove and light the burner beneath it. A ring of blue flame appears, low and even, and you hear the first faint sounds of water beginning to warm. While you wait, you unwrap the bread on the cutting board. It is a dense brown loaf, baked 2 days ago in the village on the mainland. Still good, still holding its shape and flavor. You cut 2 thick slices with the bread knife, the blade moving slowly through the crust, and set them aside on a wooden plate. From a small cupboard below the counter, you take a jar of thick soup that you made yesterday from potatoes, leeks, and a few herbs from the small garden beside the cottage. You pour it into a heavy pot and set it on the second burner of the stove. The soup begins to warm almost at once, and the kitchen fills with a gentle savory smell that mixes with the scent of the burning wood from the fireplace. You stir it slowly with a wooden spoon, watching the surface begin to steam. Outside the window, the gray sky has darkened slightly. The afternoon is fading into early evening. The sea beyond the glass has turned from gray to a deeper shade, almost slate, and the horizon line between water and sky has begun to blur. The light is changing. The night is coming, and everything feels exactly as it should. The kettle begins to whisper. Not a full boil yet, just a quiet murmuring sound that tells you the water is getting close. You take the ceramic teapot from the counter and place a scoop of loose tea leaves inside it. The leaves are dark and fragrant, a blend of black tea with a trace of bergamot that you have come to love during your nights at the lighthouse. When the kettle reaches a gentle rolling boil, you pour the hot water into the teapot and watch the steam rise in a soft cloud. You place the chip lid on top and let the tea steep while you tend to the soup. The soup is warm now, thick and smooth, and you pour it carefully into a deep ceramic bowl. You set the bowl on a small wooden tray beside the bread and a pat of butter wrapped in wax paper. You carry the tray to the small wooden table near the fireplace. The table is round, just large enough for one person, with a surface darkened by years of tea stains and candle wax. You set the tray down and go back for the teapot and a cup. The cup you choose is your favorite, a heavy stoneware mug glazed in dark blue, chipped at the rim but perfectly comfortable in your hands. You pour the tea slowly, watching the amber liquid fill the cup, and add a spoonful of honey from the jar. The honey sinks and then dissolves, turning the tea a shade darker and sweeter. You carry the cup to the table and sit down. The fire crackles beside you. The wind presses against the window. The room is warm and close and perfectly still. There is nothing in the world right now except this table, this meal, and this quiet evening. You eat slowly. There is no reason to hurry. The soup is warm and earthy, rich with the flavor of potatoes that have been cooked until they are soft and almost dissolving. The leeks add a mild sweetness, and the herbs give each spoonful a gentle depth that lingers on your tongue. You tear a piece of bread from the slice and dip it into the soup. The bread absorbs the warmth and flavor, and each bite is simple and deeply satisfying. Between spoonfuls, you sip the tea. It is hot enough to warm your hands through the heavy mug, and the honey makes each sip smooth and comforting. The fire beside you casts a steady glow across the table, and the shadows on the wall move in slow, peaceful patterns. Outside, the evening continues to deepen, and the gray light from the window has almost faded to darkness. When you finish the soup, you wipe the bowl with the last piece of bread and eat it slowly. You lean back in your chair and hold the tea in both hands, feeling the warmth through the ceramic. The fire has settled into a bed of glowing coals, with the 2 logs now burning evenly, their surfaces mapped with bright orange lines. You watch the flames for a while, not thinking about anything in particular, just letting your eyes follow the light as it moves and shifts and dances. The clock on the mantel ticks softly. The wind outside has grown a little stronger, and you can hear it moving around the corners of the cottage, a low and steady sound that makes the warmth inside feel even deeper. You take another sip of tea and feel the honey sweetness settle through you like a quiet word of comfort. After a while, you rise from the table and carry the dishes to the kitchen. You wash them slowly under the cold tap, the water running over your hands, and set them on a cloth to dry. The kitchen window is dark now, showing nothing but a faint reflection of the room behind you and the soft glow of the stove. You turn off the burners and wipe the counter with a damp cloth. Everything in the kitchen is clean and in its place. The ritual of tidying is itself a kind of peace, a way of closing one part of the evening and opening the next. You dry your hands on a cotton towel and hang it on a hook beside the stove. The cottage is quiet except for the fire and the clock and the constant, gentle presence of the wind. Now it is time to light the lamp. You walk to the narrow wooden door at the back of the cottage and open it. Behind it, a spiral iron staircase rises up through the center of the lighthouse tower. The air here is cooler, slightly damp, and smells of old stone and metal. The staircase is lit by small windows set into the thick walls at intervals, but the evening light has faded and the stairs are mostly in shadow. You begin to climb. Your hand rests on the cold iron railing, and your feet find each step with a practiced rhythm. The stairs curve upward in a slow, steady spiral, and with each turn, you feel yourself rising above the cottage, above the cliff, above the world below. The sound of the sea grows slightly louder as you climb, and the wind presses against the tower walls with a low, constant hum. You count the steps as you climb. Not because you need to, but because counting has become part of the ritual of the ascent, a way of marking the slow, steady passage from the warmth below to the light above. Each step rings faintly beneath your feet, a soft metallic sound that echoes briefly in the stone tower. Small windows pass by as you spiral upward, each one offering a slightly different view of the darkening sea and sky. Through one, you see the horizon line, now almost invisible, where the water meets the clouds. Through another, you see the rocky shoreline far below, where white foam marks the places where the waves break and pull back and break again. The tower narrows as you climb, and the staircase tightens, and the air grows cooler with each turn. At last, you reach the top. The staircase opens into the lantern room, a wide circular space enclosed by tall glass panels that look out in every direction. The ceiling is lower here, and the walls are nothing but glass and iron framework. In the center of the room stands the great lamp, a large brass and glass mechanism mounted on a heavy pedestal. The lamp is dark now, waiting to be lit. Around it, the glass panels reveal the world outside in a full circle of sky and sea and fading light. To the west, the last trace of sunset clings to the horizon in a thin line of pale amber and rose. To the east, the sky has already deepened to dark blue, and the first stars have appeared, faint and distant. Below, the sea has turned the color of slate, moving slowly in long, smooth swells that catch the last light. You step closer to the great lamp and begin the process of lighting it. First, you check the fuel reservoir, making sure it is full. Then you adjust the wick, turning the small brass knob until it rises to the proper height. You take a long match from a tin kept beside the pedestal and strike it. The flame appears, bright and warm in the dim room. You hold it carefully to the wick and watch the fire catch. At first, the flame is small, a single point of golden light in the center of the dark glass. Then it grows, spreading across the wick, rising and strengthening until the whole lamp glows with a steady, powerful warmth. You close the glass door of the lamp housing and step back. The light fills the lantern room with amber radiance, and through the glass panels, you can see it reaching outward, pushing into the darkness, sweeping slowly across the water. The lamp mechanism begins its slow rotation, driven by a clockwork motor that you wound earlier in the day. The beam of light turns in a wide, patient circle, sweeping across the sea, passing over the rocks, reaching out toward the horizon, then returning again. Each revolution takes about 15 seconds. You stand and watch it complete one full turn, then another, then another. The beam cuts through the darkness like a long golden arm, reaching out to touch the distant water and then pulling back, reaching and pulling, reaching and pulling. It is mesmerizing in its simplicity and its constancy. This light has been turning for over 100 years, guiding ships safely past the rocks, marking this point of land in the vast darkness. Tonight, you are part of that tradition. You are the one who lit the flame, and it will burn until dawn. You linger in the lantern room for a while, standing near the glass. The rotation of the beam creates a rhythm of light and shadow that passes over you with each turn. Light sweeps across your face, then moves on, leaving you in soft darkness for a few seconds before returning again. Through the glass, the sea stretches out in every direction, dark and calm, with the long swells catching the beam for a moment and then releasing it. The wind is stronger up here, pressing against the glass panels with a steady voice. You can feel the tower sway very slightly, an almost imperceptible movement that tells you how high above the ground you are. A ship appears on the horizon, just a small cluster of lights, moving slowly from left to right. You watch it for a while, tracking its progress across the dark water, knowing that your light is reaching it, guiding it, keeping it safe. After a time, you begin the descent. You leave the lantern room and start back down the spiral staircase, your hand trailing along the cold iron railing. The climb down is easier, slower, and with each step, you leave the wind and the open sky behind and return to the sheltered warmth of the tower. The small windows show only darkness now, except for the occasional flash of the beam passing overhead, momentarily lighting up a patch of stone wall or a section of sea. The sound of your footsteps echoes softly in the narrow space. By the time you reach the bottom of the stairs and push open the wooden door into the cottage, the warmth of the fire greets you like an old friend. You close the door behind you and stand for a moment, letting the heat settle back over your shoulders and arms and face. The cottage has grown even warmer while you were in the tower. The fire has burned down to a thick bed of glowing coals, with one log still flickering with low orange flames. You add 2 fresh logs from the stack beside the hearth, placing them carefully on top of the coals. Within moments, the new wood begins to crackle and hiss as the heat finds the moisture inside the bark. Fresh flames curl upward, licking at the edges of the logs, and the light in the room brightens. You replace the fire screen and brush a few stray ashes from the stone hearth with a small brass brush. The room settles around you again, warm and close and familiar. The clock ticks. The fire burns. Outside, the lighthouse beam continues its slow, faithful sweep across the dark sea. You walk to the writing desk and pull back the wooden chair. It creaks softly as you sit down. You reach over and turn the small knob on the green-shaded desk lamp, and a pool of warm light spreads across the surface of the desk, illuminating the leather log book, the brass pen tray, and the edges of the old coastal chart on the wall above. You open the log book to today's page. The pages are thick and slightly yellowed, lined with faint blue rules, and filled with entries in your own handwriting and the handwriting of keepers who came before you. Each entry is brief and factual, recording the weather, the wind direction, the state of the sea, any ships sighted, and any notes about the condition of the lighthouse and lamp. It is a simple record, but it holds the story of every night this lighthouse has stood watch. You pick up the fountain pen and remove the cap. The nib is fine and well used, and the ink inside is dark blue, almost black. You write the date at the top of the next blank entry, then pause for a moment, gathering your thoughts. The pen rests lightly between your fingers. You look toward the window, but it shows only your own reflection and the soft glow of the desk lamp. You begin to write. Wind from the southwest, moderate and steady. Cloud cover thick but not heavy. Light rain beginning in the late afternoon, continuing into the evening. Sea state calm, with long low swells from the west. Visibility moderate, reduced slightly by rain and mist. One vessel sighted at approximately 6:15, heading northeast, navigation lights visible, no distress signals observed. Lamp lit at 5:45. All equipment in good working order. You write slowly, letting each word form carefully on the page. The scratch of the pen nib on the thick paper is a small, satisfying sound, barely louder than the ticking of the clock. You add a few more notes. Temperature dropping gradually. Barometer steady, tide turning at approximately 7:30. Expected conditions overnight, continued light rain, wind shifting to the west by morning, clearing possible by dawn. You pause again and look at what you have written. The words are neat and practical, recording nothing dramatic, nothing unusual, just the quiet facts of an ordinary night at the lighthouse. And yet there is something deeply comforting in this act of writing, in this careful noting of the world as it is. It makes the night feel purposeful. It makes the silence feel full. You replace the cap on the pen and close the logbook. You lean back in the chair and stretch your arms above your head. Your shoulders release a tension you did not know you were holding. The desk lamp casts a warm circle of light around you, and beyond it, the rest of the room lies in the soft amber glow of the fireplace. You turn off the desk lamp and let the fire become the only source of light. The room shifts into deeper warmth. The shadows grow softer, the corners more gentle. You stand and push the chair back beneath the desk. Your feet are warm on the stone floor, and the rug feels especially soft as you cross the room. The fire has settled again into a steady burn, the two new logs now glowing orange along their length. You stand before it for a moment, feeling the heat on your face and chest, letting it soak into you. You decide to step outside for a moment before settling in for the rest of the night. You take a thick wool blanket from the back of the armchair and wrap it around your shoulders. It is heavy and warm, faded green with a border of darker green, and it smells faintly of wood smoke and salt air. You walk to the cottage door and open it. The night meets you at once, cool and damp and full of the sound of the sea. The wind has not changed, still steady from the southwest, carrying a fine mist of rain that you can feel on your face but barely see in the darkness. You step onto the stone step and close the door partway behind you, leaving a thin line of warm light spilling out from the room inside. The lighthouse beam passes overhead with its slow, patient rhythm. Each time it sweeps past, it briefly illuminates the rain, turning the mist into a curtain of fine silver needles before the darkness returns. You pull the blanket tighter and walk a few steps to the edge of the stone platform where the cliff meets the sea. The ground here is flat and solid, a wide ledge of rock that has been shaped by wind and water over centuries. You stand at the very edge and look out. The sea is dark below you, moving in long, smooth waves that you can hear more than see. Each wave approaches the rocks with a deep, slow breath, rises, breaks with a soft hiss of foam, and then pulls back, drawing the water over the stones with a gentle rattling sound before the next wave comes. You stand there for a long time, wrapped in the blanket, listening to the sea. The rhythm of the waves is steady and unhurried, and it seems to match something deep inside you, some pulse or pattern that has always been there but is rarely quiet enough to notice. The rain is very light, more like a mist than actual drops, and it settles on your face and hair with a coolness that feels refreshing rather than cold. Above you, the lighthouse beam continues to turn, sweeping across the water and the mist and the rocks in its endless, faithful circle. Somewhere out on the dark sea, the ship you saw earlier has moved on. Its lights are gone, hidden now behind the curve of the coast or perhaps simply too far away to see. You are alone with the lighthouse and the sea and the rain. After a while, you notice the stars. Not many of them, just a few, appearing in breaks between the clouds where the sky clears for a moment before closing again. They are small and far away, but their light is steady and clear, different from the warm amber sweep of the lighthouse beam. You watch one star hold its position above the horizon while a thin cloud drifts past it. The star disappears, then reappears, then disappears again, as if it is blinking slowly. Then the cloud moves on and the star remains, bright and constant. You breathe in the cold salt air and feel something settle inside you, some last trace of the day's effort or thought that has been waiting to be released. It lets go now, quietly, like the tide pulling back from the shore, and in its place there is only stillness. You turn and walk slowly back to the cottage door. The warm light from inside reaches toward you like a hand. You step over the threshold and close the door behind you, and the sound of the wind and the sea becomes muffled at once, replaced by the soft crackle of the fire and the steady ticking of the clock. You shake the fine mist from the blanket and hang it over the back of the armchair to dry. The room feels warmer than before, or perhaps you simply feel the warmth more after standing in the cool night air. Either way, the contrast is deeply pleasant, like stepping into a bath after a long walk. Your body responds to it at once. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing slows. Your hands, which had tightened around the blanket, now hang loosely at your sides. You put another log on the fire. Just one this time, a thick piece of oak that will burn slowly through the rest of the night. You position it carefully on the coals and watch the flames begin to explore its surface, finding the dry spots first, then spreading outward in slow, branching lines of orange light. The fire will last for hours now. It will keep the room warm while you rest, glowing steadily through the darkness, matching the lighthouse beam above in its quiet, constant work. You replace the fire screen and wipe your hands on your trousers. The room is perfectly warm, perfectly still, perfectly ready for the rest of the evening. There is nothing more that needs to be done. The lamp is lit. The log is written. The fire is set. And the night will take care of itself. You fill the kettle one more time and make a fresh cup of tea. This time, you add an extra spoonful of honey and a small splash of milk from a glass bottle in the cupboard. The tea turns a warm golden brown, lighter than before, and the honey makes it sweet and smooth. You carry the cup to the armchair and lower yourself into it slowly. The cushion gives beneath you, familiar and deep, shaped by many evenings of sitting in exactly this position. You pull the green blanket from the back of the chair and spread it over your legs. It is slightly damp from the mist outside, but the fire is already warming it, and within a minute, it feels dry and heavy and comforting against your body. On the small table beside the armchair, there is a stack of books. You reach for the one on top. It is a worn hardcover with a dark cloth binding and gold lettering on the spine, a collection of essays about the sea and the coast and the people who have lived beside them. You have read parts of it many times before, and the words have become familiar in the way that certain music becomes familiar, not surprising anymore, but always welcome. You open the book somewhere in the middle, not looking for a particular passage, just letting the pages fall where they will. The print is small but clear, and the green-shaded lamp on the desk, now dark, is no longer needed. The firelight is enough. It casts a warm, uneven glow across the page, making the words seem to float and flicker slightly as the flames shift. You read slowly, letting each sentence move through your mind at its own pace. The writing describes a morning on a fishing boat, the way the light changed as the boat moved out of the harbor and into open water, the way the waves looked from the surface, blue-gray and smooth, with long valleys between them where the light gathered and held. The words are calm and unhurried, and they seem to blend with the sounds around you, the crackling fire, the distant waves, the steady wind pressing against the cottage walls. You sip your tea between paragraphs. The honey sweetness mixes with the words on the page and the warmth of the blanket and the gentle amber light of the room until everything becomes one continuous, flowing experience of peace. After a few pages, you realize you are reading the same sentence twice. Not because it is difficult, but because your mind has begun to wander from the page, drifting outward into the room, into the sounds of the fire and the sea, into the warmth wrapped around you. This is not restlessness. It is the opposite. It is the beginning of that deep settling that comes when the body has been warmed and fed and sheltered, and the mind no longer needs to stay alert. You read one more paragraph, then another, but the words are beginning to blur at the edges, not on the page but in your awareness, as though a soft curtain is being drawn between you and the waking world. You let the book rest in your lap, still open, and look at the fire. The thick oak log has caught fully now and burns with a deep, slow heat. The flames are lower than before, more orange than yellow, moving in long, lazy curls that barely rise above the surface of the wood. The coals beneath it glow with a steady radiance, a bed of deep red and orange that pulses very slightly with each breath of air from the chimney draft. The fire screen catches the light and casts thin shadows across the stone hearth. You watch the flames without thinking. Their movement is endlessly subtle, always changing but never sudden, and your eyes follow them the way your ears follow the sound of the sea, without effort, without intention. The warmth comes in slow waves from the hearth, reaching your face, your hands, your chest, sinking deeper with each passing minute. The rain outside has grown slightly heavier. You can hear it now against the cottage window, not a drumming but a soft and constant pattering, thousands of tiny taps blending into one continuous, whispering sound. It is one of the most soothing sounds in the world, rain against glass when you are warm inside, and tonight it seems especially gentle, as though the rain itself knows that someone is trying to rest and has chosen to fall as softly as it can. Behind the rain, the sea continues its deep, slow breathing, wave after wave meeting the rocks below the cliff and withdrawing again with patient, rhythmic certainty. And above everything, unseen from where you sit, the lighthouse beam continues to turn, sweeping its golden arm across the darkness, keeping watch so that you do not have to. Your eyelids have grown heavy. Not suddenly, but gradually, the way a flower closes when the light begins to fade. You let them rest at half-mast, and the room softens before you, the edges of the furniture blurring, the firelight smearing into a warm amber wash across everything. The book in your lap has closed itself, the pages falling together under their own weight. Your tea sits on the side table, half-finished, still faintly warm. Your hands rest on the arms of the chair, completely relaxed, your fingers curled loosely over the ends. The blanket over your legs feels heavier than before, pressing down gently, holding you in place. There is nothing left to do tonight. The lighthouse is doing its work above. The fire is doing its work beside you. And your body knows that it is time. You could stay in the chair, and that would be fine. You could let sleep find you here, by the fire, with the book in your lap and the rain against the window. But somewhere in the back of your mind, the idea of the bed in a corner of the room surfaces gently. The narrow bed beneath the sloped ceiling, with its white sheets and thick quilt and pillow that smells of lavender. The idea does not insist. It simply appears, like one more soft thing added to a room already full of soft things. After a moment, you decide. You will go to the bed. You shift the blanket aside and place the book on the side table. You stand slowly, feeling the warmth of the room adjust around you. The fire glows steadily. The clock ticks. Everything remains exactly as it is. The bed is in the far corner of the room, tucked beneath the low slope of the ceiling where the cottage wall meets the base of the lighthouse tower. It is a simple wooden frame, painted white, with a mattress that is firm but giving, the kind that holds you without swallowing you. The sheets are white cotton, clean and slightly cool to the touch, and they whisper softly as you pull them back. The quilt is thick and heavy, made of dark blue fabric with a pattern of pale stars stitched across it. Beneath the quilt is a wool blanket, and beneath that, another layer of cotton. The bed has been made with care, each layer tucked and folded, waiting for this exact moment when you would come to it at the end of a quiet night. You sit on the edge and feel the mattress give beneath you. You swing your legs up and lie back. The pillow receives your head with a softness that makes you exhale. It smells faintly of lavender and clean cotton and something else, something like the sea air that finds its way into everything in this place. You pull the quilt up to your chest and feel its weight settle over you, pressing gently and evenly across your body. The wool blanket beneath it adds a layer of warmth that reaches you almost immediately. Your feet find a comfortable position. Your legs relax. Your hips settle into the mattress. Your lower back releases a tension you did not know it was holding. Each part of your body seems to let go in sequence, like a series of doors closing softly, one after another, in a long and quiet hallway. From the bed, you can see the fireplace across the room. The thick oak log still burns, lower now, its surface covered in glowing orange lines that pulse and fade and pulse again. The light it casts is softer than before, more amber than orange, and it plays across the ceiling in slow, shifting patterns that are almost too subtle to follow. The room has taken on the quality of a painting done in dark, warm tones, everything blending into everything else, the edges of the furniture dissolving into shadow, the walls becoming indistinct. Only the fire remains clear, a steady center of warmth and light that holds the room together. You watch it from the pillow, and the watching itself is restful, requiring nothing from you except the simplest act of being present. The sounds of the lighthouse settle around you like another blanket. The fire crackles softly, a pop here, a hiss there, each sound small and familiar. The rain continues against the window, that endless gentle pattering that never rises and never falls, as constant as breathing. The wind moves around the outside of the cottage with a low and steady voice, occasionally rising slightly and then settling back to its usual murmur. The clock ticks on the mantel, each tick the same distance from the last, measuring time in its own patient way, and beneath all of these sounds, barely audible but always present, the sea breathes in and out against the rocks at the base of the cliff, the deepest and oldest sound of all, the one that has been here since before the lighthouse, before the cottage, before anyone came to this point of land. You let your eyes close. The darkness behind your eyelids is not empty. It is warm, tinted faintly by the amber firelight that still reaches you through your closed lids. You can feel the warmth of the fire even from the bed, a gentle radiance that touches your face and the backs of your hands. You can hear everything more clearly now. The rain, the wind, the fire, the sea. Each sound occupies its own space, distinct but overlapping, creating a layered tapestry of night sounds that wraps around you as completely as the quilt. There is no need to listen actively. The sounds come to you on their own, filling the silence without breaking it, the way light fills a room without changing its shape. You let them come, and you let them go, and you rest inside the space they create. Your breathing has slowed to match the rhythm of the night. Each breath in takes its time, filling your chest with warm air and the faint scent of wood smoke and lavender and salt. Each breath out releases a little more of the day, a little more of the effort and the thinking and the holding on that fills the waking hours. With each exhale, your body grows heavier, sinking deeper into the mattress, deeper into the warmth, deeper into the soft darkness that is gathering around you. The fire continues to glow. The rain continues to fall. The lighthouse beam continues to turn above you, sweeping its golden light across the dark water, keeping its watch while you rest. Everything is taken care of. Everything is in its right place. There is nothing left for you to do. The night will go on for many more hours. The tide will turn and the water will rise along the rocks and then fall again. The clouds will shift and the stars will appear and disappear and appear once more. The rain will lighten and perhaps stop altogether before dawn. The wind will change direction slowly, moving from southwest to west, and by morning it will carry the scent of open ocean and the first faint warmth of the sun. The lighthouse beam will turn and turn and turn, faithful and steady, guiding whatever ships pass through the darkness safely past the rocks. And the fire in the cottage will burn low, the thick oak logs slowly becoming ash, the coals dimming from bright orange to deep red to a soft, steady glow that will last until morning. But you do not need to be awake for any of that. The lighthouse does not need you tonight. The sea does not need you. The fire will tend itself until dawn. Everything that matters is already happening, quietly, steadily, without your help. The beam turns. The waves breathe. The rain falls. And you are resting, deeply and completely, in the warmest, safest corner of this old stone building on the edge of the sea. The night holds you. The blanket holds you. The bed holds you, and somewhere deep inside, a stillness has settled that feels like it has always been there, waiting for exactly this kind of quiet to reveal itself. Let it be there. Let it hold you. Let everything else fade away. The fire glows softly. The rain whispers against the glass. The sea breathes far below. The lighthouse beam turns above you, slow and golden and sure. And you are sleeping now, carried gently through the long night by the sound of the waves and the warmth of the fire and the steady, faithful turning of the light. The keeper is at rest. The lamp is lit, the world outside is dark and beautiful and perfectly still. And somewhere in the distance, a ship passes safely through the night, guided by the light you set burning. But you do not see it. You are far away now, deep inside a sleep so peaceful that even dreams cannot reach you. And the lighthouse stands watch. And the sea sings softly. And the rain falls on. And the night goes on. And you are resting deeply, completely, peacefully, until the morning comes.